You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
I had to shave the beard. It was getting long though, you know.
I liked it. It was a very unique look. I wouldn't say you.
Hey John, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm not sure if you could hear me. The meeting is being recorded.
Oh yeah. We could hear you.
He got it.
Fine.
Looking very dapper, I might say, Mr. John. I like
Hold
it.
on.
Got that Eastern dapper look.
Hello.
John, this is the trusty sidekick, Alan Lee.
Just leave it.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm barely hearing you.
Oh.
Okay.
Can you talk? Hello?
Hey, can
Yeah.
you hear me?
You hear me?
Yeah, I could barely hear you, and I can't hear myself. I don't know if this thing is hooked up.
I could hear you fine.
Hey. Some asshole unplugged this from the back. Who would fucking do that?
Alan Lee.
Having a discussion about that kind of behavior, and all of a sudden the whole thing is too blue and too crazy. I know. Listen, this guy's a cop.
Yo, ex-cop. How you doing, Alan?
How are you? Glad to meet you, sir. And I had mentioned you looking very dapper. And
Thank you. I'm a pussy magnet.
Yeah. On Alan Lee's the trusty sidekick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So far, so good. We're in communication, and it's working because I'm not good at this. I have a 31-year-old millennial son that hooks me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he lives on the other side of this wall and doesn't pay rent.
Well, I don't want to say anything, but Keith is are you a 30-year-old millennial or 31?
I'm not. I'm a little older, unfortunately. I have that young disease though, where like I look young.
Yeah, that's not a disease. You want that.
Yeah,
You got good hair, dude. I would like to fuck your hair.
You got
Again.
you jumped in. That's fuckable.
Well, John, thanks so much for taking time of your busy schedule to riff with us. We really appreciate it, man.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. I always like doing these, but I travel tomorrow, so today is like I work in a workshop, so I kind of did what I had to do today, and then like kind of right now I'm like taking the edge off and packing, and I was looking forward to hanging with you guys.
Oh, nice.
Now, are we on the air now? Is this part of our shtick?
Yeah, we're on the air now.
Okay, and can I smoke marijuana
till next Monday?
Oh, okay, but can I smoke marijuana during this? Some guys flip out and they're like, "Oh my god!"
Of course, you can.
Oh, good. Oh,
you
some
do
guys
whatever you want.
Oh, good. Can I show you my penis?
Well,
I'm to see it, but Alan might take you up on that.
I can't. I'm having a diabetic attack, and my blood flow is wrong.
Now, John, before we met on the Facebook, right?
Right. I thought I only saw you or knew you for the first time ever from the contest.
Oh yeah.
And again, I've seen you on Facebook, and if I'm not mistaken, you were friends with Norm, right? And you opened for Norm.
Yeah, he was.
So I read a lot of that, and again, I didn't know you and I knew each other, but I did read a lot of that, and I thought it was fantastic. I saw you the other night, and then when I went back to our Facebook messages back and forth, I saw that I guess I might have been doing a gig, and you said, could you do the middle spot? So we've spoken before.
Yeah. So, did you work with Norm?
No, I never met him. I never met him. I was obviously probably on just a whole different circuit, and he's obviously way more famous than me. Never met him. Always loved him, respected him. However, it took his passing for me to fully do my research and my homework on him. So I like him.
Oh yeah, he was the best. And then the worst thing is then I was close with Saget too. Like I opened for Saget too.
Oy.
And then I also opened for Jay Moore, and Jay Moore told me, he's like, I don't want you to open for me anymore because I don't want to die. I was like,
oh, Jesus Christ. I do know this. I had an audition, like a life-changing audition, like the lead in a sitcom that was already picked up, the lead. and it was me, Bob Saget, and Larry Miller. And I said,
we love Larry.
I said to Larry Miller, hey, you're from Valley Stream and I'm from Woodmere. These are Long Island towns right next door to each other. And he looked up and said, I'm studying. I'm trying to get a role. And then I said hello to Bob Saget, and he couldn't have been nicer. He went out of his way to make me feel like, I'm famous, and I'm up for the same role as you, and I'll probably get it, but let me shake your hand and be nice to you.
Yeah.
That's the only time I met Bob.
Saget was the nicest guy. When Norm died, he called me once a week just to check in with me.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So.
Yeah, I like both of. I'm a humongous Howard Stern fan, so I love both of their visits to Howard Stern.
Yeah, but let's drift to something more positive. I'm curious about your interaction with Larry Miller. Was that it? Because
there's another one. When you say you love Larry Miller, I don't know if you're being serious or not.
I really do. We had him on here, and I think he's one of the best character actors ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like Larry Miller, but there was that interaction, and then another time, my wife and I used to walk at a park in Valleyville, Sherman Oaks Park, right off of Van Nuys or somewhere, and we used to see him every morning, and just once or twice our eyes, caught, and I just said, hey, I was like, hey, there's the guy, and he kind of went out of his way to go, like he thought I was a civilian that was gonna, ask him for his autograph, or ask him who he was.
But that's kind of funny though, you know what I mean?
And I do know he was in a coma for 6 weeks, so I find that interesting. You know that, right?
Yeah, he had his brain like froze or something, right?
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know the cause of it. And again, I liked him in what was that one movie he was in? He was great with the Richard Gere, the prostitute. Yeah, he was good, and he was like the dress salesman.
Yeah, I loved the Princess Bride, where he's like combing the lady's hair, and he's like, "What is this, zebra hair?"
No, that's funny. I didn't see that one though. But he's from Valley Stream, and so is Jim Brewer is from Valley Stream.
Oh, Jim Brewer.
And I'm from the next town over, Woodmere. I don't know if you know anything about Long Island.
New York.
Yeah, obviously, Long Island. Yeah, it's the first town in Long Island. If you drive like 10 blocks, you're in New York City. You're in Queens.
Yeah.
You've landed at JFK Airport before?
No. I was just trying.
No, I'm saying Queens. JFK Airport is in Queens, in New York City.
Yeah.
And you go through a red light at JFK, and you're in Long Island, where I lived.
Nice. Now, did you do, when you were a police officer in New York, did you do stand-up while you were doing the same thing?
It's a good question. I did it once. I always wanted to be a comedian. I didn't know how you start. I did open mic once early in my cop career, very early. I got hired in 86. I might have done one open mic in 87 or 88. And my heart pounded so much, it felt like there was a midget or a little person inside my chest trying to escape with a sledgehammer. That's how much my heart was pounding. And I said, I don't need these hassles. And I never did it. And a good 4 or 5 years went by, and I was on the homeless outreach bus. I was in the homeless outreach unit. We pick up our clients. Mm-hmm. You can't say bum over the radio or two-legged cockroach. So we'd pick up homeless people every night, overnight, in the cold weather, and I would do jokes on the homeless outreach bus. To quote some of my buddies, my audience were crack whores and homeless bums that stunk or had feces in their pants. One guy said, how you doing tonight? This is a true story. I said, hey, man, how you doing tonight? He goes, not too good. I go, why not? He goes, I got a stool in my underwear the size of your leg.
Yeah.
That was my audience.
Right.
Similar to the ha-ha. No, that's a dumb joke. I like the ha-ha. Yeah, the old Shaky Town Live. And here's what happened. I knew I wanted to be a comedian. I had very, very, very severe stage 4 living room balls. I was the funniest guy in the living room. I was the funniest guy at the Christmas party. I was the funniest cop. I was the funniest guy on my football team. And my partner one night on the homeless outreach bus, I was 27 years old, and he said, dude, look at this. There's a comedy class. And it was like the heavens opened up. I'd never heard of such a thing. I go, give me the details. He said, oh, you join, you do sets, There's a graduating class. You could pay it off. He goes, I'll even lend you the money. And when I called that phone number the next day, just to say I want to register, it was a life-changing moment. It was like I told my parents I was a homosexual at the age of 27. It was that much weight lifted off my shoulders. And then I remember before I signed up that night, I got home at 7 a.m. and my wife had a crying infant in each arm, like a 2-week-old and an 11-month-old. Okay, they're not even a year apart.
Yeah.
To this day, they're the same age once a month. For 1 month. She has a crying son and a crying daughter. We were done with the family. We had one of each. And I said, I want to be a comedian. I said, it'll probably take 10 years of open mics, running around. Obviously, I'm not going to quit the job. I'll do both. I said, I need your support. And there was a long pause. And she said, I want another baby. If you help me have another baby, I'll give you all the support. So to answer your question, 6 years into my cop career, I started to do open mic. And then for another 6 years, I got more, if you want to use the word famous, but I got famous enough to sign a huge TV deal. I was in the newspapers. They compared me to, the New York Times compared me to Frank Serpico. Do you know who Frank Serpico is?
I don't.
Alan Lee knows.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the most famous New York City cop for other reasons.
Yeah.
But anyway, I stayed on the job as a cop and a comedian for another 6. So a total of 12 years. Got a big TV deal with ABC and Disney. And at the last minute, it got sold to the UPN, the Unemployed Policemen's Network.
Whoa.
Do you remember the UPN, or you're too young?
I'm too young, but Alan probably knows. But that sounds really cool.
Watched it all the time.
Well, UPN, Keith, had a very bad rep. It was like, it was like, it's hard to explain, but it just was the new startup, and it had a lot of bad shows. And I should have been on Disney and ABC if the plan went correctly, on Channel 7, and I probably wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. Thank you. Your turn.
Well, in a way, I'm kind of glad it went on UPN, though, because I love talking to you.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I was a comedian for 6 years. I became New York's Funniest Cop, which when people now, there's contests. You were in a contest. Right. I won. I keep a running count of my sets. I'm on set 6,370, something like that. Oh, no, 6. I think last night I did 6. I'm looking for my notebook. I think I just did 6,363, 6,663. But on set number 50, I won New York's Funniest Cop. And to this day, the few times they had it again, they wouldn't even let me join. I had to either be a judge or a host because they knew that I would win again and other people wouldn't bring their relatives.
Yeah. So what was that like where you won the Funniest Cop? That probably gave you a big boost of your career, though.
I'll tell you, it's again, when we look back on contests, it's a fucking contest, right? But at the time, they had never had New York's Funniest Cop. So to me, it was kismet. I started doing stand-up in the summer of 92. Mm-hmm. 92. And all of a sudden, in January of 93, I'm doing open mic for 6 months. And it's all over the comedy clubs. New York's Funniest Cop, big contest. And I was like, not only am I going to join this, I'm going to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure I win. And sure enough, there was 3 or 4 runoffs. It wasn't in one night. So I got friends with the other guy. I got friends with this guy. I got friends. But I realized I was the only one doing 3 to 5 sets a week. Tape recording. They would most of them joined it as a goof. And all of a sudden, and one of the runoffs, when they count the votes.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. did a set. And I had never seen or heard of Louis C.K. And I was like, I go, how can somebody be so funny? He's not trying to get laughs. He's orchestrating the laughs. And I said, how can somebody be so funny? And this is before they named me New York's Funniest Cop. Someone said to me, what's the difference between you and him? I said, what? He just goes time. He said, you're going to be that funny. It was crazy advice. And then I became New York's Funniest Cop. I thought it would be a bigger deal. I thought, I didn't think they were going to have a ticker tape parade, but I thought it would be a bigger deal. But in the end, it showed me that if you do the sets, you know what I mean? It gave me a goal as a comedian, which was very big.
Yeah. I totally get that, because like the only reason why I did that contest that I don't think we met because I'm a sore loser, but so I bailed. But I did.
You had my vote.
Oh, well, thank you.
But I guess it wasn't enough. And you weren't in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And you're white.
Yeah. I mean, I personally feel, Alan, I don't think you were there, but I feel I lost because Sally Mullins fucked up the order. But
No, I'm a judge. Watch this. I will let you know this. I'm a judge, and whatever the mess up was, I picked it up in the dark, sitting in the dark. But I understand what you mean.
Yeah. It just threw me off because I was ready to go after the guy who.
Oh, you mean in other words, you weren't ready to even go up, and you got called up? I thought you were talking about on the judge sheet. Like I gave you the. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You mean you got called up before you were ready to go?
Yeah, because I was supposed to go 6th or whatever, and she called me 5th, and like that just threw me off because like I was like focusing on my you know what I mean, on my.
Yeah, it would throw me off because I like to kind of be physically and mentally ready.
Yeah. And
it's a contest, you know, as much as you want to blow it off, it is a contest. And the way that place, you know, it's loud. There's people talking. There's like, you know, that's like doing, to me, stand up in a subway station of New York.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. And there's another show 8 feet away with people laughing at that other show.
And the thing that sucked is there was no crack whores when I was doing it.
No, there was. She was hosting. She was hosting it, dude. That's her whole act.
No, that is her act. I saw her years ago.
I find it funny. I leaned over and said to a stranger, boy, she's got this down. The drunken, you know, grandmother that you want to fuck. She's got it down. If Sally Mullins had a dick, I would suck it. I would. I'm not getting any younger.
I mean, and just so the folks at home, like, I don't have a problem with Sally Mullins. I just feel that's the reason why I lost.
Oh, okay.
You know
no, I mean? I thought you watch this as a judge. The little I remember about the whole thing, I thought your jokes were clever and you were right on. And you have Asperger's, right? There was something about Asperger's.
Yeah.
I have no Asperger's. I have no ass cheeks at all. That's part of my act. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I have such little meat on my ass that I had a girlfriend years ago put a finger in my rectum, and it went right up inside my penis, and it was like a finger puppet.
Ew.
I have a long back with a slit. I have no ass cheeks at all. I have the ass of a Korean woman.
But like what I was gonna say was, even if I won, that wouldn't have changed my career. That just would have made me feel good for one night. You know what I mean?
Okay. See, I understand that, but I know winning New York's Funniest Cop had a cachet. Yeah. I know that because watch this. At the time, there was 38,000 active New York City cops, 38,000 that could have joined the contest. There was another 30 or 40,000 retired that were open to join the contest. And here it comes. Let me tell you something about that 80,000 guys. Yeah. They're all funny.
Really?
They're a lot of the dude. New York City cops are the funniest mofo's ever because all we do is sit around and bust balls. I mean, what else is there? Yeah. That's what you did. You gravitated to the guys that were into busting balls, and it was 8 hours of ball busting a night. I mean, we were high end, and I'm from Long Island. That's where, you know, ball busting is a sport. You literally didn't enjoy the football team because you were a ball buster. That was your sport. Yeah. I mean, just today I Skyped with my dad. I'm a 57-year-old man, and my dad's in Long Island, and he goes, "What's with the haircut? You look like a lesbian, fella."
Oh, that's my act.
Yeah.
And I said, when you get a haircut in North Hollywood and you want to pay $8, there's a language barrier.
Yeah.
And I ordered the numero cuatro. He cut my hair, and I said, "Hey, Jose, what's with my hair?" And he goes, "You ordered the cuatro. You ordered the maricon." And then my dad goes, "What's with the goatee? Fella, it looks weird." I said, "I'm switching up my look." He goes, "It looks like you went down on it and came back up with it." So most New York City cops were funny, but this is the point I'm trying to make is Now I'm on stage. Now I'm running around. Now I'm doing sets. Now I'm garnering a little bit of cachet as a stand-up. And I'm New York's funniest cop. So when the guy busts you, when Alphonse DiCioccio tries to break my balls at roll call, I go, dude, I'm at Caroline's tonight.
Yeah.
You got living room balls, okay? Or maybe you have cul-de-sac balls because you moved out to the end of Long Island and you live on a cul-de-sac and you're the funniest guy at the Christmas party. I'm in real comedy clubs going on with real comedians. So that was the cachet that I had. And I had a title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To the average schmuck, maybe no big deal. But to someone else, hey, this guy's New York's funniest cop. You know, it's, again, I would think that a lot of, I guess if you don't know about police work, and in today's day and age, you'd be led to believe that cops are just assholes that want to beat people up with a nightstick. And it's exactly 1,000% the opposite. Almost every New York City cop I know was a good guy with a good heart that couldn't give a shit about police work.
Right.
And when the chips were down, they would give their life for a complete stranger. And they're funny.
Yeah.
Your turn.
I was gonna say that's pretty cool. I've always been taught to be like, when I get pulled over, to be nice, because if you're nice, there's a good chance you could get out of a ticket.
Oh, without a doubt, dude. I have the greatest way of getting out of a ticket ever.
Oh, tell us.
Other than having a police ID. You know that gets you out of it, right? You get pulled over. I'm on the job. Oh, have a nice night. So my dad has the sickness. Do you know what the sickness is?
No.
It's pre-hoarding. It's garage sales, flea markets, knickknacks, junk, record albums. Everyone has the sickness for like a Coca-Cola brand stuff. But it's not hoarding. It's more like garage sales and flea markets. You got to go every weekend. So I was an active New York City cop. My dad had the sickness real bad, and I hadn't seen him in months. And I'm in a little 200 SX or something with a hatchback, and he loads me up. I got 3 kids. Here's stuffed animals for Sabrina. Here's the fire trucks for Matt. Here's board games for your wife. Your brother, my other brother's into Rottweilers. Here's stuffed Rottweilers. And he's literally, I'm leaving with like 60 garage sale items stuffed in my car. And if you say no, he gets very angry. So you got to take them.
All right.
I'm going to pull away to head to work in Coney Island, Brooklyn. You know what Coney Island is? The movie The Warriors. Did you ever see The Warriors?
I did not.
Okay, well, they want to get to Coney Island. It's a nice area if you're a bullet. So I'm trying to get to Coney Island. Oh, as I pull out of my dad's driveway, he goes, I got one more thing. And if you say no, he gets mad. He goes, I got a toilet. It's like new. I go, where are you going to put a toilet in this car? He puts it in the front seat, a whole big cream-colored yellow toilet. And as I go to pull out of his driveway, the toilet does this in the front seat. So what do? I put a seatbelt on the toilet.
Right.
So now here's the big flat part of the toilet with a seatbelt sitting next to me. I go to Brooklyn from Long Island. I make a right on red. Whoop! I get pulled over by the NYPD. Big fat cop gets out. He's got 3 stomachs, 2 chins. His hair is on backwards. It literally weighs like 390 pounds, and he's all stomach.
Right.
And he comes waddling up. He looks at me. He looks past me at the toilet in the seatbelt and just goes, get the fuck out of here. I don't even want to know. Get the fuck out of here. He thought I was on a date with the toilet. And that got me out of a ticket for making a right on red.
So for the folks at home, you should buy a toilet and always have it in your passenger seat.
Right. Right.
Now, John, I wanted to ask you, because when you do movies and acting and stuff, there's a lot of times you play a cop. Does that like increase your chances of getting those roles because you used to be one?
I think I don't look like a stockbroker. I don't sound like one. I look like a New York City cop. But to be very specific, I got into the movie Miss Congeniality without an audition. I didn't even know the movie existed. Uh-huh. I got 7 phone calls. I was on the set of a TV show, and I had my phone shut off. And I turned it back on, and there was 7 messages that I thought somebody that I knew died. And it was, John, this is Ruth Ann, your agent. You're in a movie called Miss Congeniality. John, you're in a movie called Miss Congeniality. And the reason they were all calling, check this out. This was like 9 p.m. You got to be on a private jet tomorrow to go to Austin, Texas for the table read. This is at 9 p.m. telling me I'm in a movie with Sandra Bullock, and at 6 a.m. I'm on a private jet at Burbank Airport, and I could carry my own marijuana because it's private. Thank you. No one pats you down. But to answer your question, I found out years later how I got into Miss Congeniality with no audition is because of my New York accent. The New York accent. And then the movie 15 Minutes with Robert De Niro. I don't like to drop names because Michael Caine told me it was rude. How I got into 15 Minutes was I was supposed to be a detective for the New York City Fire Department. So again, you got to have a little authenticity of a guy that really was that could be. And then Ed Burns, if you saw 15 Minutes, Ed Burns was the lead and I was Ed's partner. Yeah. And check this out. I went on like 6, 7 auditions. Like this one, I had to keep going back. And I'm like, oh my God, that guy's from Goodfellas. Oh my God, that guy was in, I'm like seeing like semi-famous people I'm against. And finally, it came down to reading with Ed Burns. And watch this. Ed Burns and I went to the same high school. We had the same friends.
Nice.
He was 4 years older than me, but we had the same circle of friends. We had the same shorthand of Long Island language and the stupid catchphrases.
Yeah.
And I had done Howard Stern maybe 5 days before the audition with Ed Burns. Mm-hmm. And Ed Burns walked into the audition quoting all my zingers from Howard Stern. So I knew I was in with Ed.
That's
I had 5 or 6 really good zingers on Stern. And then the other role, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, I play a uniformed New York City cop. And that was the director of Miss Congeniality. He called me direct. He said, hey, John, it's Donald. No agents, no managers. He said, I don't want any bullshit. He said, I need a cop in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. He goes, I'll get you scale, no hotel. I flew back and stayed with my mom. It wasn't a big paying gig, but when the director calls you and asks you, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people, if someone says typecast or this or that, I just say this business is so hard that if I played a cop 50 times in a row and it led to a house in Studio City with a built-in pool and a convertible, who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? Go memorize Shakespeare?
I do understand because my adopted uncle, he had a show. You were actually on the show for an episode, and he was the star of it. And he was so tired of being typecast because he was always typecast as being David Puddy from Seinfeld. And he was like, no, I want to be a serious actor. And I'm just like, but Pat, you're getting a lot of work just by being that. You should just embrace it. You know what I mean?
What show was this, if you don't mind me asking?
Rules of Engagement.
Oh, yeah. You don't now see, watch this. On Rules of Engagement, had I known that one of the guys was Kate Hudson's brother,
Oliver, yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. And David Spade couldn't have been nice. David Spade went out of his way. He knew I was like a half-ass actor. He didn't know I was a stand-up. Him and Oliver went out of their way to be nice to me. And I would have at least gave him my business card to make furniture. You know what I mean? I make furniture for a lot of famous people. And you know what I'm saying? That's easy. It's easier for David Spade to call me because he needs an outdoor picnic table than it is to put me in an acting gig.
Right.
So I felt bad. But Rules of Engagement, I still get residuals.
Yeah.
I should get a Miss Congeniality today. I just checked my mail. I live in North Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I should get a Miss Congeniality today for $1,172. And that's 23 years later.
Wow. That must, and like the cool thing about that movie was it was written by Mark Lawrence.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No, but I love his writing.
What else did he do?
He did 2 Weeks Notice and music and lyrics. Like that's my kind of thing, the romantic comedy thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was good to me, but then when Miss Congeniality 2 was written, I wasn't in it.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't in it. I was just on the Pay Me No Mind list, and I heard they did the table read, and I got a call from Barry Katz. Hey, pal, it's Barry. I got really... I got really good news, Papa. You're in Miss Congeniality 2. They rewrote it to put you back in. And watch this. On the original pay that I got was a lot. So I'm thinking they got to give me that same exact amount. And I'm like, down payment on a house. I'm not broke anymore because I've been broke a lot out here. And Barry said, there's a little bad news, pal. They're offering you 90% less than you did on the first one. And I said, well, should I take it? And Barry said, you'll be on a movie set. You'll get residuals. And if you don't take it, they'll go to fat guy number 2. They won't give you a raise. So I did it.
Yeah.
I wound up doing it. And in the opening scene, Sandra Bullock and I are married. Did you see Miss Congeniality 2?
I did not. I skipped that one, but I saw the first one.
First one is fantastic, dude. First one. And here's a crazy thing that happened. And you're not going to hear this from many people. I had X amount of lines, right? As the funny New York guy, because I had the New York accent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had like the zingers, right? Yeah. I'm the zinger guy. And then when they discovered I really could deliver a zinger that was not just written, but I could come up with something in the moment and they could kind of, go out of a scene with my little, whatever it was. What wind up happening was if I was supposed to work 12 days out of the 60, I worked almost all 60 days because they just said, send DiResta, give him an 8 a.m. call, send him to his trailer. And if we need a joke written in a scene, we'll let him know 2 hours before. And so for like 50 days of the movie, I just smoked pot, listened to heavy metal, watched Goodfellas 5,000 times on a VHS. And then I'd hear, tell John DiResta that we need a North Dakota, South Dakota joke. We'll pick him up in 10 minutes. And I would do a joke that, look at Mrs. South Dakota. Her legs are so long. I'd have to go to North Dakota. Yeah. Like a hidden pussy-eating joke. Like they wanted me to be dirty. Yeah. And out of those jokes, 5 or 7 made it in. So like I was at a garage sale last week and a woman goes, you look and sound familiar. Are you an actor? I said, I am. She goes, what movie? I said, Miss Congeniality. And she said, without missing a beat, I forgot the Alamo. And I go, hey, that's my joke. She goes, I know. I love that joke. So that was a joke in Miss Congeniality because remember the Alamo?
Yeah. So you joke doctored it.
I joke doctored it. And on 15 minutes, I don't like to drop names, but Robert De Niro did a few jokes that I gave him. And not only when they yelled cut, did it get an applause break. Yeah. While they were clapping, this is Robert De Niro going like this. That was a John DiResta joke. Right there. That was a John DiResta joke. Giving me credit right in front of everybody.
See, and that's awesome. And then like another thing is like you've worked with a lot of people who've won Oscars too.
6. If you can name all 6. Can you name all 6?
Sandra Bullock.
Twice.
Robert De Niro.
Twice.
Matthew McConaughey.
Once.
6.
Michael Caine.
Ed Birds, but I don't think he won.
No, Ed didn't win an Oscar. Michael Caine is 4.
Oh, Michael Caine, yeah. Okay.
Regina King is 5.
5.
Miss Congeniality 2.
Okay, that's the one I didn't see, so I didn't.
Right, no, and she only won an Oscar recently. And Sidney Lumet, the director from the 70s.
Oh, you worked with him?
I did one of his last movies. It was called Gloria with Sharon Stone, the remake.
Holy Lord.
And I'll tell you real quickly, it was made as a drama, and her New York accent was so bad they put it out as a comedy. And Regina King, we get into the little bus, the transport from our trailer, and I said, "Oh, it's nice to meet you. Is this your first movie?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "This is my 40th movie."
Yeah.
Well, and then we never spoke for the next 2 weeks.
Well, she was in the Scary Movies, right? And then
I didn't know her from that. I legitimately didn't know who she was.
But hey, this is one of those weird questions that I gotta ask. Is like,
I'm not gay.
Well, like you don't like to name drop where I think like everyone is probably thinks it's impressive you worked with De Niro and Sandra Bullock, but I think it's impressive you worked with Ed Burns, who I feel is a great actor because I was just wondering, is he like a funny guy too?
Well, again, you got to remember we grew up in the same town in Long Island. We had the same friends.
Yeah.
And we would talk about how funny Terry Downing was. We would talk about how funny John Sarro was. These were mutual friends that knew me and knew Ed, but Ed and I never met. Ed is funny. Ed is sweet. Ed is the nicest guy on earth. When I saw him dealing with, being, quote, famous and people on the streets of New York walk up and bother him, he handled it fantastically. And Ed and I have a memory that, how you bond on a few things.
Yeah.
Are we done?
No, sorry, my dog.
You fucking chop my story into bits.
No, sorry. My dog, I'm listening. My dog just jumped in.
Okay. No, this is a memory that no one could ever take away from us. Me and Ed got drunk with Robert De Niro in Robert De Niro's hotel room, and we should have stayed from like 7 to 8. That was the plan, one drink. At 2 a.m, his wife kicked me and Ed out. We were bombed. She kicked us out, and this is a true story. The next day, you could Google it up right now while we're in the air. The next day, on the cover of the Daily News, Robert De Niro's wife files for divorce.
Oh, my God.
Because of John DiResta screaming all the lines from every De Niro movie. And at one point, De Niro goes, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't even know what the fuck line that is. And I'm like, that was in King of Comedy. You fucking screamed, so did Hitler. He goes, I saw it once. I said, the fuck? Me and Ed Burns got drunk with Robert De Niro. I know Robert De Niro's secret name in a hotel.
Yeah.
And watch this. We shot half that movie in L.A., so I had so many family and comedians coming to the set because it was outdoors in New York City in the summer. Cops were coming, detectives, Hell's Angels. I'm friends with Hell's Angels were showing up on the set. And then out of nowhere, right around mid-July of 99, I was on there's a great picture of a director's chair, 2 of them next to, and one says DiResta, one says De Niro. And for 25 years, I've been looking for the photo. But Ed walked up to me at like 5 p.m. in July and hot. And he walked up and he just goes, De Niro wants to have drinks tonight in his hotel. I said, I got to change. I look like a mutt. Ed goes, we got to go right now. And then Ed goes, no comedians, no family, no friends, just me and you. We got the secret name. We went up and his assistant opened up a bottle of tequila. Again, it was supposed to be 1 drink each, and we were bombed like college kids making jokes.
Wow.
But I'm not sure. What was the question?
It was.
Ed Burns. Yeah, Ed, yeah. Watch this. I don't know if you know, my wife passed away. I don't know if you know that. My wife passed away. Okay, my wife passed away in November. We were married 33 years. And Ed Burns, and I'm going to try not to cry, loved my wife. Ed was so nice to my wife because, do you know anything about New York? My wife was from Rockaway Beach, Queens. Yeah. Do you know what that is? Does that register to you or Alan?
Alan's from New York. He knows that stuff.
New York City.
What's that, Alan?
I was born in Manhattan.
Okay, remember Rockaway Beach, the Irish little chalet out on the beach?
That's right.
Ed absolutely loved my wife because she was from Rockaway, and they got along really well. I could never say anything bad. Not that you're looking for it, but Ed was a great guy. De Niro was a great guy. You know who was a great guy? Howard Stern. I did Stern twice. Howard Stern is my idol. Howard Stern is a living legend.
Yeah.
And he was as nice as could be. You know, even when we all took the elevator. I finished the show once, and we all took the elevator all the way out. Like, we hung with him for like 20 minutes on the way out of the building. And even off the air, just a regular. And he's a Long Island schmuck, too. You know that, right?
Yeah, because
Howard Stern is Long Island.
Yeah. Now, so when you do the movies and then the stand-up comedy, during that time frame, that probably really helped your ticket sales, right?
No, that's almost like a trick question. Not at all, dude. Fucking nobody gave 2 shits that I was in a movie with Niro. Nobody gave 2 I mean, I'm famous in one place, the eye doctor where my mother works in Long Island. They all think I'm going to Coke parties with Bruce Willis and Arnold up on Mulholland. They don't know I'm at the fucking chateau at your contest with Sally Mullins and you getting your wrong number, so you fucking bombed.
But to be fair, I don't think I bombed. I
had to throw that in. I had to throw salt in your eyes. I'm a schmuck. No, listen. I thought that because you don't know this, I did the Tonight Show as a panel guest
with Jay Leno.
Quit with Jay Leno just for the UPN show. That would never happen these days. It was so far down the dial. You would never get, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now the late night show is a star against star. It's got to be, it's got to be Tom Hanks versus Matthew McConaughey. The human interest of a cop that got a sitcom, it might be good on daytime TV, but you will never see that on a late night show again. So since I did that and killed, I thought now 6 months later, I'm in Miss Congeniality. Let me get ready for my, my close-up. No press, no nothing. Then 15 minutes, no press, no nothing. No one cared that I was in the movie. When I mean press, no Howard Stern, no radio, nothing, not zero.
Well, we weren't around back then, just so you know.
No, but I'm saying, listen, and then on top of it, no one really recognized me from the movie. To this day, if I do a show tonight and there's 250 couples, and I say I was in Miss Congeniality, I see 250 wives lean over and go, I saw Miss Congeniality 50 times. This fucking asshole is not in Miss Congeniality. I see them say it, and I go, do you guys own it? Because usually it's on the road. I go, do you guys own this type of phone that you could look up information on?
Yeah.
Google my name right now. And all of a sudden, and this leads to real moments as a stand-up. This is a total setup.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, he is a Miss Congeniality. Oh, he used to be fat. Oh, he had his own sitcom. Oh, look at that. There's a picture with Robert De Niro. Oh my God. He was in Miss Congeniality too. The one thing I get recognized for the most, can you guess? It's very weird. You don't know, I had 3 woodworking shows too. Did you know that?
Yeah.
HGTV.
You had one with your brother.
I had 3 with my brother.
Yeah.
But the one thing everyone recognizes, because this is in my stand-up act, doing thousands of shows, I just happened to notice that for some reason, everybody recognizes me from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Yeah. And I'm in it for 1 minute.
And that's one of my favorite movies. So, yeah.
I had a funny story there. So you know the card game in Staten Island, bullshit.
Bullshit.
So you know that. So I don't know how to play bullshit, but it was a close-up overhead. See the camera right here on my hands?
Yeah.
And from behind the little video village, the little black booth, the director, who now I know from Miss Congeniality, so we know each other. And he came to see me at the Velveeta Room. Yeah. You ever been to Austin, Texas?
Yes, but I never performed there.
All right, the Velveeta Room's considered. Okay, I did that too, but the Velveeta Room is considered the hardest place on earth to get laughs. Pips in Sheepshead Bay, then the Velveeta Room, and I say the Fourth Wall in North Hollywood. I say all 3 of those. That's my. But the director and I went out a few nights, and so we became friendly. So he hires me, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I'm doing the cards, and over the speaker, he's directing me from this little video village. John DiResta, moved the Queen of Hearts to the right. So, because I guess the way the cards was set up meant something to the game and the plot of the movie.
Yeah.
So I moved the Queen of Hearts to the right. He says, John DiResta. I said, move it to the right. I pick up the card. I move it an inch. He goes, John, I'm not going to say it again. Move it to the right. I move it to the right. And then all of a sudden I hear him go, like, I'm not supposed to hear it. He goes, oh, shit. I meant to the left. And I yelled out, I'm sorry, you were wrong. And at first it got a little laugh because he's the director, then a big laugh, and then it turned into an applause break that I made fun of the director on this big set of a big movie.
Right.
And he took it like a man, and Kate Hudson went like this. She just leaned back and looked at me. It was like this. All right, this fucking dude's funny. And I worked with Matthew McConaughey in that scene, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason, My wife calls me. I don't know if she had a few drinks in her. She said, "Can you get me Matthew McConaughey's autograph?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm kind of his co-star. You know what I mean?" And this is from 3,000 miles away. She goes, "Can you get me his signature on a T-shirt?" Now she's not on a piece of paper. Now she wants Matthew McConaughey's autograph on a T-shirt.
Right.
And I don't know where I got the T-shirt, but it was like one of these little white ones, like the Guinea T-shirt they call it. I had the magic marker, and I asked Matthew McConaughey for his autograph on the set of a movie with 1,000 employees and everybody looking from their house, from the fucking roofs, helicopters. And he goes, "Dude, I'm in the middle of my fucking work day and you're my co-star and you're going to fucking stick a pen in my face and people are watching. If I sign one, I got to sign fucking 50. And you know what I said? All right. You get it? All right. That's a true story. And we just found that T-shirt just a couple of days ago. My daughters found that T-shirt. They wanted to put it for sale online.
No, I think you should keep it.
But you know what he did have? Out of everyone I've ever met, Matthew McConaughey has the most charm. Yeah. Matthew McConaughey has a magic. They say Bill Clinton has it, or had it before he got old and crusty and red.
He probably still has it, though.
But McConaughey is by far the most charming person I ever met. I mean, where Robert De Niro was just like one of my dad's friends. My dad was a New York City fireman, and I know a lot of New York cops. So to me, De Niro, his demeanor and the way we interacted was like, oh shit, this is one of my dad's friends. You know what I mean? That's and Ed Burns and even Sharon Stone I've met. They're all nice and they're all stars. But Matthew McConaughey had like this magic. I was like, wow. He had me questioning I got like a chub when I was in his presence. Yeah. I chubbed up.
I think that story about the autograph is hilarious because when I was on tour with Norm, I used to work at a grocery store and Norm would call me because we would do Thursday through Sunday back then. Now the headliner days are Friday and Saturday and they'll skip a Sunday. But they did the Thursday through Sunday, and Norm would call me on Wednesday to get off work the whole weekend. And I was like, my boss is not going to do this. And this is like the first one. He's like, okay, give me your boss's number and I'll call him. So I go to Norm's house and we call him and it rings and Norm's like, hello, is this Keith's boss?
Yeah, there you go.
And he's like, Keith can't come to work today. He has to go to Pittsburgh because this is Norm Macdonald. And like my boss didn't believe it. It was just so funny because Norm's arguing with my boss for 20 minutes. He's like, no, seriously, Norm Macdonald, it's me. It was
nice.
It was just so funny. So like when I hear funny stories that it just brings out the charm of because it's human. It shows people how genuine they are. You know what I mean?
Dude, what? Well, here's a couple of Robert De Niro genuine stories. I assume you saw the movie Ronin. Did you see Ronin?
Ronin.
Alan, did you see Ronin?
Yes, it was very good. It was an action cop with De Niro and
I saw Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents was a good one too. No, but I said to Robert De Niro, I said, hey, I'm watching. We had a couple of private moments, and I said, hey, I'm watching one of your movies per night. I'm doing my homework, and he goes, and he's reading the newspaper, all alone in a Chinese restaurant, just me and him in downtown LA. There's not a person to be seen, and in the movie, this is probably about my auto warranty.
Oh. You want to pause it?
Not at all. No, it's a joke how they call and
yeah.
No, we're good. So in the movie Ronin, like 10 different people get killed over this metal case, and they never tell you what's in the metal case. The whole movie, people get shot, stabbed, governments are involved, all for the metal case. And all of a sudden the movie ends, and you don't find out what's in the metal case. So here's Robert De Niro reading the newspaper. He's like this. He would always read the Daily News, and he's reading the paper. And I walk over and I go, hey, I'm doing my homework. I watched Ronin last night. And he goes, yeah. And he didn't give a shit. I go, I invested 2.5 hours and they never told me what's in the case. What was in the case? I go, you got to tell me what was in the case. And he goes like this. How the fuck do I know? That's it. He never even looked back at me. It was the funniest goddamn thing. He goes, how the fuck do I know? But, and then another time, you ever walk up on someone and they go, here he is. It's a joke, like they're talking about you behind your back. Here he is. Yeah. Robert De Niro did that to me, did it to Ed Burns about me. And he's such a good actor, Robert De Niro. I thought he really was talking about me. It was funny. He was doing a schmucky thing you do in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Here, look what I just found. I just found this.
That's cool. It's the photo.
This was before I was molested. I went on a camping trip with my uncle, and it was late at night in the tent, the big tent. I said, Uncle Kenny, what's a pervert? And he looked down and said, shut up and keep sucking.
John, Alan, do you have any last second questions for John?
No, I think it's, I love cops that become performers.
Oh, wow. Thank you, sir.
Yes, because they bring an experience that most, let's face it, most actors are not going to have, and it tells. Whether it's was it Dennis Farina and
Dennis Farina had allegedly 3 confirmed kills as a cop. Hey, dude, I'm on a list. I'm on a list with famous civil servants.
There you
go. Do you know it? Yeah. All right. Watch this. Here's the list that the National Enquirer. You guys remember the National Enquirer?
Yeah, it's still around.
They put out a list of the 5 most famous civil servants. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Dennis Farina, the big burly cop with the white hair. I don't know if you know him, Keith. John DiResta. Steve Buscemi was a New York City fireman.
I love Steve, and I love John.
And what's his name was a mailman. Carell was a mailman. Did you guys know that?
Carell?
Yep.
That's right.
And then this one you're definitely not going to know. Alan might know. Lieutenant Crocker from Kojak worked for the Long Island Railroad, but Kojak's going way back. And on that note, Alan, watch this. Keith, I don't know if you know, did you know Tupac was shot before he was killed? Tupac was shot in New York City.
Yeah.
He was shot 5.
Is he seriously considered killed? Because he keeps releasing music every year.
Wow.
Oh, well, don't stall my joke. Right?
Sorry,
do your best not to chop up my final joke. We were working as cops. Me and Mike Venkus were in the homeless outreach unit. We heard the call. We work in Manhattan, and Tupac Shakur shot 5 times outside a studio in Times Square. And we got there. He was shot 5 times that night. He lived. And one of the bullets went through his scrotum. I don't know if you know that. And he lost a testicle. And that was the night that Tupac became one Pac.
Oh.
It would have been better if you didn't step all over.
I feel, fuck. Good thing you weren't in that contest, man.
That's right. Out of order.
Yeah. Well, John, where can the folks at home follow you and support you?
Oh, okay. At John DiResta on Instagram. At JOHNDIRESTA is basically it. And there's at DiResta West Coast. That's for the furniture. At DiResta West Coast. And yeah, dude, I booked a gig today. You ready for this?
Yeah.
One night, $3,000.
Nice.
4 nights in a 5-star hotel so you can promote it. And they cover the airfare.
Oh.
Who's the asshole now?
Oh.
Nice.
Today is the day Tupac became one Pac for me. That made no sense, but it had the right rhythm. And I have a New York accent. And, dude, you know about the teeth?
Yeah. What happened?
$8,000, dude. Look. $8,000.
Wow. So you got to get another $3,000 gig, right?
I asked for the Barry Katz model. What's up, Papa?
Was Katz your former manager?
He was my manager for 5 years, and I consider him one of the funniest people on earth.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever hung out with him. He is extremely funny.
We've had him on 2 or 3 times, and Jay used to be managed by him, so I know Barry Katz very
Are they
well.
still together, or they broke up?
No.
Or you're not allowed to talk?
I mean, I could tell you privately, but they're not together still.
Oh, okay.
They're still friends, but not together.
Okay, but about 3 years ago, I saw Barry. I'm selling at a flea market my furniture. I don't want to brag. I'm selling at a fucking flea market. And I saw Barry, and I've lost a little weight, and I work on my bronze. I bronze off each day. I still have my hair. Yeah. And Barry goes, I know, he noticed the weight loss, and then he just goes like this. I highly recommend you get your teeth whitened or corrected before you kick back into showbiz. So he's one of the reasons I went and spent $8,000.
Yeah. Wow.
I got the Morton Downey Jr. model. Do you know him?
No.
Not Robert Downey. Morton Downey. Oh, is this funnier?
Brother.
I got the Joe Namath model. Do you know who Joe Namath is?
Yeah, I know Joe Namath.
Yes.
Broadway Joe.
Yeah. Well, John,
hold on. Broadway Joe. Joe Namath was the original Pussy Magnet.
Ah.
I don't have a joke there. I should have ended on one park, right?
Yeah.
But Alan, thank you for that. That's a nice compliment.
Thank you. This was a joy.
Oh, great. Thank you. All right, Keith. Thank you. And how many people will watch this? 8 to 10?
Well, hopefully more. I mean, I'll have my family do it.
We have.
Do you have a gig tonight?
I don't know.
I'm going to El Paso this weekend. Have you ever been there?
What place?
The comic strip.
Yeah, I did that with Richard Villa.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah, you don't want to know him. But yeah, you'll love it. That's it. El Paso is cool because they come there for comedy. It doesn't really matter if you're famous or not; they'll still go. You know what I mean?
Good. Yeah. No, I've been there twice. In the last 10 years, I've been there twice. I have nothing but good memories. However, in my 6,300 sets, the last time I was at the comic strip, my middle act got a standing ovation all 6 shows.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for everyone except me.
Oh, you don't like it when your middle act does good?
Well, I like it when he does good, but a standing ovation, I mean,
Yeah.
Who's sucking whose titties over here?
Was he like?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know the guy?
No, I don't.
His name was Ignacio Saraguchi. Really? He was really funny and charming and handsome and sung songs in Spanish, like made the fucking girls go crazy. It was like Elvis was up there, and then I come out with my Long Island little dick jokes and twisted sister jokes.
Yeah. Well, see,
I have a 1-inch dick and a 12-inch ball bag.
That's pretty impressive.
I have a genital mullet. You want to see it?
Sure. Well, no, the thing I was going to say is because I obviously want to be a headliner one day. And I would love to have openers who are really, really good, because I feel like that would make.
Yeah. Oh, it does make you funny. Yeah, it does. But I mean, a standing ovation is different. But no, but watch this. But when I look back on it, here's the good piece of news, because I'm being positive, is I survived it. Like, I don't remember leaving there in a bad way. I gave it up, hey man, give it up for him. And here's the old lesson I got taught. You just got to change the channel. You know what I mean? You just got to, they watch Saraguchi, you get up, they go from channel 2 to channel 8. They went from a soccer game to, roller hockey. That's it. And usually 5 or 7 jokes into it, that other person is done. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're out. Yeah.
Well, John,
and I had one more thing.
Sure.
I'm getting so old now. And the other day, I looked down after the shower. I was naked, and my penis and my balls were so gross and wet and mushed together. They look like they should live inside a shell or a conch.
That's the closer.
A conch. It's hard to talk when you get new teeth.
Yeah. Well, John, thanks so much for talking.
All right. Thank you for having me, dude. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm always looking for sets too. So if you hear anything, and if I hear anything, likewise.
All right. Thanks, John. I appreciate it, buddy.
I'll tell Robert De Niro you said hello.
No, tell Ed Birds.
Yeah, you got it.
For Ed Birds.
Yeah, Ed Birds.
Talk to me.
All right. Bye, John.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got it. Texas.
All right. All right, guys. That was the show. Subscribe, rate, and review, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Hey, thanks again, guys.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, good.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.